Well, Mr. Zuckerberg, I will say there are a great many Americans who I think are deeply concerned that Facebook and other tech companies are engaged in a pervasive pattern of bias and political censorship.
What we have here is clear evidence of coordination between Twitter, Google, and Facebook. Mr. Zuckerberg knows he has the tools to track this, but he either doesn't remember or won't commit to letting us see it. We have evidence of Facebook tracking its own users all across the web. Mr. Zuckerberg won't answer questions about it, can't remember the name, isn't sure if the tool is deployed in this way, and won't commit to giving us basic information. I submit to you that this is both totally unacceptable and totally predictable, because it is exactly what these tech companies have done to the American people and to Congress for years now, which is why it is time we took action against these modern-day robber barons. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The social media model of centralized authority and perpetual ownership is dying. It's collapsing on itself the same way mainstream media did when the internet first reached widespread adoption, but this time the catalyst is cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. You have to understand that it's only a matter of time before people begin to realize that their data and content is worth money. And right now, basically all of that money goes into the pockets of some nerds who wrote some admittedly pretty nice code and a few lucky early investors. So what I'm about to tell you is important. You can become one of these lucky early investors during this paradigm shift. In this video, I'm going to show you what the future of social media is going to be and how you can take advantage of what's to come. If a monetary revolution truly occurs based on decentralization and cryptographic smart contracts, every other industry will follow suit. Just like how NFTs are disrupting the art and collectible industries, DeFi will disrupt our interactions in the digital space, and projects like Minds will be there waiting at the finish line for the race to start. Because Minds is already a fully functional, heavily trafficked social media platform. It's miles ahead of any competitor in the decentralized category, and it already has a so-called network effect. We're going to get into all that over the course of this video, but first I guess I should properly introduce Minds so you can understand what I'm talking about.
Joining us now to discuss is CEO and founder of Minds, Bill Ottman. Welcome to the show, Bill. So first off, perhaps you can explain to us how Minds works. I had a chance to sign up and I took a look at it. It kind of reminded me of Facebook.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So Minds is open source, decentralized social network. And, we just think that censorship resistance, decentralized infrastructure, rewards for creators, monetization, privacy, end-to-end encryption, sort of doing everything the opposite way that big tech is doing it. That's where we need to go. And so, we support Bitcoin and fiat as well, and for rewards for creators, but also Ethereum and our token. So it's creating incentive mechanisms for users to contribute, develop code. It's all about incentives and rewarding users, putting users first.
So I'll let you be the judge of what you think about founder and CEO Bill Ottman compared to the rest of the tech CEOs. But as you can see, the dev team is fully doxed and public, and they believe in putting the user first in terms of content monetization, privacy, and internet freedom. In fact, Bill is constantly posting messages to his Minds account about why freedom of speech is so important, and he also posts about a bunch of other interesting topics. Minds beta launched in 2015 and showed steady growth, breaking 1 million registered users in 2017 and a sharp jump toward 200,000 active users around the same time. So it's now been operational for 6 years. There's no update that I could find yet on their user count for 2021, but they've made significant inroads in some non-English speaking countries, such as Thailand, and we'll talk about that in a bit. I'm covering this project because it's something that I've actually been using for years, so I can fully endorse it and give a pretty good rundown on how it works. And I also think it solves real problems. Plus it has serious gainage potential. At the time of this video, the market cap is hovering around 20 million, but the fully diluted cap is around 700 million. That's because only about 3% of the total supply is currently in circulation. Minds tokens are rewarded to content creators and users of the platform on a daily basis and based on their contribution to the network. Now, Minds plans to transition to a fully decentralized social media platform run by a decentralized autonomous organization in the future, and things like reward rates and other metrics will be debated and voted on by future communities using Minds. So while the fully diluted market cap is large, we need to understand that the majority of those tokens may not be released for many years, perhaps even centuries. As the value of Minds tokens increases, the reward rates will decrease accordingly. So why would the value of Minds tokens increase? What are they used for and who would buy them? The simple answer is advertisers. Minds tokens are used as the currency for placing ads on the network. During beta, Minds ran a boost system based on points, and once they perfected that system, they launched the official Minds ERC20 token based on the system that they launched with beta. So the only way to place ads on the Minds network now will be to buy Minds tokens on the open market, and that'll drive the value of the token, which content creators and network participants will in turn be rewarded with. I fully believe this is a superior model. Not only does it vastly improve the efficiency and cost of advertising by cutting out the middleman, it restores the mutually beneficial aspect of the interaction between advertiser and consumer. The only possible argument I can see against this model would come from those who own the currently mainstream platforms, because they're the ones getting cut out. But I think even more important than the question of who specifically owns these platforms is the social impact they have when controlled by any select set of people. They aren't just massive cash cows. They're also the most powerful mechanisms for social control ever introduced in human history. Anybody with control of such mechanisms will inflict their biases against the population, even if by mere accident. In my opinion, these mechanisms absolutely need to be decentralized. And the good news is that we really don't lose anything by shifting to a decentralized model. It would make every aspect of the platform better, in my opinion. People would have all the tools necessary to control the information they receive and the algorithm that serves them, and they'll get paid for making stuff that people like. It basically reverses the incentives completely, and might even result in people posting more positive content rather than negative stuff, because remember, on Minds you have the ability to dislike things as well. So the way that the mainstream algorithms work by sort of promoting things that everyone gets angry about and posts in the comments and things like that, well, you now have the ability to downvote those posts, which will disincentivize people from only seeking to induce the rage emotion. That's just a theory, but as far as I can tell, it seems to be working. Regardless, the whole point here is that Minds solves problems. So let's talk about the network effect. Back during the so-called adpocalypse and a kind of purging of certain individuals from the mainstream networks, many creators from the affected communities turned to Minds. People like Tim Pool and Styx Hexenhammer come to mind. Styx, for example, having amassed over 28 million views on the platform so far, with 51,000 subscribers. These people, and many like them, are still actively driving their audiences towards their alternative social networks, Minds being among the most promoted. And I mentioned Thailand earlier. In 2020, over 250,000 users from Thailand joined Minds in the face of concerns about Twitter engaging in political censorship, according to a blog post from Minds about their 2021 roadmap. Speaking of that roadmap, I'll leave a link in the description, but I just want to mention a few things from it now. First of all, they developed a YouTube integration tool in 2020 which basically allows a person to connect their YouTube channel to their Minds account and then migrate all their videos over to Minds automatically, plus have their new YouTube uploads be automatically put on their Minds account as well. This is cool because Facebook and YouTube really go hand in hand. What people like about YouTube is mostly the long-form sort of content, usually with some educational value. And Facebook is sort of the long-form social media platform, where it has the longest post and comment length of any platform, even more than Minds itself. But Minds integrates these two things together and seeks to basically be the free speech alternative to both, in addition to a decentralized ERC20 project. They even offer bounties to people for translations and development of the platform to be used in various non-English countries, so their market really is the entire world. And I forgot to mention, but you can even turn your Minds account into a legit website that earns ad revenue for traffic. I think there are very few people who recognize just how powerful this tool really is. So let's talk about the gainage potential. We're going to work with the market cap based on the circulating supply because obviously that's what matters in the short term. But the question is, if Minds has been around for a few years already and already has that network effect going for it, why isn't the value of the token already exploding? It's doing alright, but here's the most beautiful part. All the people on Minds today are using it because it works and it's fun, and it's free, and it's fair. It's functionally quite similar to Facebook without all the crap. However, virtually none of these users are buying Minds tokens on the open market. They're just using the platform. And the project itself doesn't do, built-in open market buybacks or anything to provide price stimulation. The only thing driving the token value right now really is speculation. But as soon as the network hits some threshold where the economics of the advertising becomes viable to companies looking to place big money ads, those tokens are going to be bought up by the thousands. The thing about social media companies is that they've always struggled in the beginning to generate any revenue, but as soon as their network reaches a big enough size, the value truly explodes. Based on a mere $20 million market cap, comparing to Facebook's over $1 trillion market cap, just to be cheeky and sort of get an idea of what an advertising platform like this could potentially be worth in 2021, we'd be looking at a 50,000x from here. From a $2.84 Minds token to 50,000x would represent a whopping $142,000 Minds token. Now, this obviously doesn't happen tomorrow or even next year. It would literally require Minds to replace Facebook as the dominant advertising network in the industry, at Facebook's current valuation. So, is that even remotely possible? Well, we should ask ourselves what makes Facebook really so valuable in the first place.
If so, how do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
And the answer to that is, again, advertising. It's the sophistication of their advertising platform. The value they provide to advertisers by offering mountains of data to ensure the ads meet only the best targets is what makes Facebook worth $1 trillion. And that only works because that data represents active users on the platform who can be advertised to. If Minds were to reach anywhere near the amount of daily active users as Facebook, and those users were comfortable sharing even just a small amount of their data, Minds very quickly achieves at least close to the same as Facebook's value in the eyes of an advertiser. As long as they're reaching people who want to buy their products, they'll pay boatloads of cash for those Minds tokens. So I really mean it when I say this could all begin to happen very quickly for Minds. And there's a feedback loop here as well, because if the price does begin to skyrocket, all the users who've been collecting tokens for the past few years will get excited about their gains and excited to keep earning more tokens, further increasing the genuine value of the network. Minds really has so much to offer. They're a valid replacement for Facebook, YouTube, and even things like Patreon because you can set up recurring donations to your favorite content creators on Minds. Plus, it's just a way better user experience. So follow the link in the description below and go create an account. Follow me and send me a meme so I know you saw this video and I'll follow you back. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you can see my next video about another awesome crypto project making waves on the internet.